Hey everybody, this is Mark Harris, 1555 Filmworks. Thank you for joining me. Happy Sunday. I have my notes right here, so I'm gonna be looking back and forth like always. But today we're going to deal with 6 ways to not give up on the film industry. 6 ways to not give up on the film industry. So number one, mastering and understanding disappointment and rejection. So we know what disappointment is. If someone is keep telling you something over and over and over again and it doesn't happen, we become disappointed. So give you an example. In 2015, I was about to make a film, and to show you how immature I was and immature my mind was and immature how I was in this business. And the film company kept telling me, okay, they kept pushing it all. And I was like, God damn it, I'm ready to make this film. And this was after Black Coffee, after we did Black Coffee. But again, I had to eventually come to understand the value in that. First of all, this was a company. They couldn't focus they had a business to run, and this is what at that time I didn't understand. And so eventually, we went and we made the film. We made a couple of films afterwards, but I had to understand that the value in disappointment. I mean, every time they would tell me we're going to do this film, and we would not do it, and I would get more disappointed, more frustrated. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't doing anything but hurting myself. So I had to understand and master disappointment. Let things happen when they're supposed to happen. Rejection. We all understand what rejection is. Being told no over and over and over again, and there's a power in actually being rejected. So we're all in this business. We deal with rejection. Every one of us deal with rejection one way or the other. Not just in the film business. I just don't want to just say in the film business. We know this is across the board. This is in our professional life, and in our personal life. We all deal with some form of rejection, but as a filmmaker, right, we always going to have deal with rejection, meaning that we're going to send our screenplay out. People are going to say no. We're going to send our films out. They're going to be rejected. How do we deal with that rejection? Do we get bitter? Do we close up and say, okay, I'm tired of this business and give up? No. Just look at that rejection and see how we can learn from it. See what's the power in that rejection. See what's the message that's up in that rejection, right? And then from there, you take it and you use it and you move on to the next project or to that particular project. How can I make this project better? You know what I'm saying? So there's power in the form of rejection. Failures. We all know what failures are. I mean, we go through life with it every day. We try something, we fail, we give up. There's also a lesson in failure. Okay, so I'm gonna give you an example how I see failure, right? And this is not how I see. I looked at failure maybe 5 or 10 or even 3 years ago. But today I look at failure as this. When I'm driving down the streets of Chicago, any streets, right, and I'm hitting a road bump. So a road bump is nothing but, to me, a failure is nothing but a road bump. It's just like that temporary stop, Okay, you're gonna stop. But in failure, right, just like rejection and just like disappointment, we're going to look at it. We're going to examine it. We're going to break it down to its lowest common denominator. How can we eat it up and get the nutrients out of it and spit out whatever that we don't need, spit it out. You know what I'm saying? So we look at and find the value in failure, find the value in disappointment, find the value in rejection. So in the film business, we're gonna encounter failure so often, you know what I'm saying, so often. But however, that a failure, we look at it, we find the value in it, we keep it moving. So we know that failure is only something that's temporary. It's just only temporary. And there's lessons in that. There's lessons in that to make us bigger and better and greater people and greater human beings. Number three, being persistent. We have to be persistent. Okay, now let me just tell you, say something. Being persistent is not being rude. It's not losing our integrity. It's not losing our character. It's not having the mindset of the entitlement mindset. Being persistent means that you know exactly what you want, and you're going to follow the rules of integrity, the rules of maintaining our character, our disciplines, in order to get what we need to get or to achieve. So A lot of us think that being persistent is being being rude to people, meaning that, I'll give you an example. Somehow I had got a phone call a couple of days ago, and this person, I had no, because my cell phone is not listed. So this person bypassed my email address that's listed on IMDb, my website, bypassed my office number that's listed on my website, IMDb, and somehow contacted my cell phone number. And people were, of course, the way I handle it, I just hung up, because at the end of the day, when you have, I'm thinking, okay, if you have my phone number, my personal phone number, you may have my address. And so when you have a family to protect, and when you're a private person, you have to make sure that the protection of your family is more important than what could possibly come out of this deal. You know what I'm saying? So that's not being persistent. Being persistent isn't keep calling someone's office over and over again and trying to get a deal. That's not being persistent. You're becoming annoying now. Okay, being persistent is knowing exactly what you want in this business. When you know what you want in this business, and going after what you want in this business, without being rude, without being losing our integrity or our character. And this is something that even I had, not just even I, but this is something I had to learn over time. And everything I'm mentioning here is something that I'm learning, and I had to learn over time. So you got to be persistent without being rude, without being losing our integrity, without losing our character, and also without having to lie. There are plenty of situations where I'm just using my own experiences. There are plenty of situations where someone would inbox me or someone would DM me and say, okay, I have funds to make a movie. I want to talk to you. So we get the person on a call. They have absolutely no funds to make the movie. They want to pitch their story, or they want to pitch themselves as an actor. That's absolutely a no. No one, I'm going to tell you something. If you do that, and for those who have done it, stop it, because no one is going to take you seriously. No one will be going to be able to trust you, because you're doing something that's very shady in order to get something that you want. Meaning that if something, and you're working out of desperation, chill, relax. Things going to happen when it's time to happen. Don't force them. So be persistent and be clear and direct in your vision without having to be a liar, be shady, and losing our character and our integrity in order to get what we want. Because people do that. Number 4, setting an example. What does that mean when it's setting an example? In particular, for us who have children, right, or grandchildren, or so forth and so on, we want to set an example. Setting an example meaning that we want to show them in this life that you can be successful. Wherever you go in the world, you can be successful, no matter whether you're in Africa, whether you're in Europe, or whether you're in China, you're in Chicago, you're in LA, you could be successful. I want to read something. Art and entertainment are forms of feeding the mind. Just as we feed the filth and indecency to the human mind and produce an uncivilized person, through art and culture and music, we can feed nobility and wonderful things to the human mind, and thus produce a fertile mind for the planting of the seed of good. So basically, setting an example is we have to determine the content that we want to put out to the people, right? And that's entirely up to you. No judgment here. But the content I want to put out is content that's going to feed the human mind, feed the human soul, and feed the human spirit. There are those there are those who actually hate it. There are those who love it. But it's for a particular people who want to see or have more positive content, or have more positive images, and those are the things that I want to put out. And one of the things people ask me, am I ever going to do a film about a socially conscious film? I've been asked that several times. And I think my films are very socially conscious. I'm not going to show black people as victims. I'm not going to show white people as abusers. I'm going to show people, that's not the images that I want to put out. I'm not going to, because I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's not because I fear anything or fear anyone or trying to please anyone, because in the business, as long as I have been in this business, that has never been a thing of mine to try to please or satisfy anyone's ego or do anything to break into anyone's industry. I have always been consistent in the images I have put out. I have always been consistent in what I wanted to do. And this is just me, but I'm not going to show us as black people as victims. I'm going to show us in the highest light ever that I can possibly show, and that's people who are producing it. That's people who are happy. That's people who have everyday problems, and we use our intelligence to overcome those problems. You know. So number 4 is setting an example. We want to set an example. Number 5. There's an extreme amount of value in what haters say about us. So we look at haters. We should look at some of our haters, right, as helpers to our mission. Okay, and I put haters in question because everyone, of course, in any business, whether you're a rocket scientist, whether you a homeless person, like even a homeless person, and you're living in your home or in the place where you live, maybe look better than the place someone else is living down the street, and they may say, okay, look at this person, their person home that they built on a sidewalk is better than my home. So that can even cause envy and jealousy among homeless people, among scientists in the film business. You find envy and jealousy in every aspect of our lives. You know, a guy's walking down the street, you're like, oh shit, how did that guy get that beautiful woman? You know, there's a certain amount of envy and jealousy that goes into saying that. So there's always envy and jealousy in any field that we're in. So of course, in our field, we know that there are people who are going to be envious, jealous, which is also known as the haters, right? But there's extreme value in what some, not all, some of haters say, and we have to discern what has been said, and not everyone, and who's saying it, and look at what they're saying, and if what they're saying is true. You know, and then if what they're saying is true, we can use what they're saying in order to make ourselves better. You know, because haters are going to say things, or they're going to see things that people who are close to us, people who want us to succeed, are really not going to see, or they see and really not going to say, because they feel that they don't want to hurt our ego or our feelings. So what haters do is that haters, and I'm continue to use haters with question marks. What haters going to do is that they're looking for it. See, they're looking for things that are wrong, right? And when they're looking for things that are wrong, there's, you know, and they're going to say, they're going to let it be known, because this is what they do. They're going to let it be known, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And they're going to want the public to know, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And it's how we handle that, right? It's just like when the movie Black and Privilege came out, it came to Netflix. I mean, people were going in on it. Everything what they say was wrong? Absolutely not. But I had not had an issue, but this one guy came in, he said, well, this is why black filmmakers are able to make movies, because of movies like this. Wrong. Now what you're doing is you're using Black and Privilege as an excuse for your own failures. So I had to come in and correct it, brother. I was like, well, critique the film, but don't use the film as a measurement of a reason in terms of why you're unable to make movies. Now you're copping out now. You know what I'm saying? So, but look at the critiques that people are saying, right? And then we take those critiques and we use them to the best of our ability. There's extreme value in what haters say. Extreme value in what haters say. But don't listen to everyone. You can't listen to everyone, because you'll be all over the place. You'll be confused. But you have to discern the truth from the falsehood. Number 6, I know we dealt with a no, but I want to deal with no again. Embracing hearing, saying no. What do we mean by that? So in our business, like with every other business, we're always going to hear the words no, 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 no. All throughout my career as a filmmaker, I've always heard, no, Mark, we're not interested. We're not interested. You're not interested. Okay, go on to the next. You after you hearing no, don't let that be a sign of you're not being who we think we are in this business, or don't let that be a reason to bail out on our dreams. Let that be energy, fuel, fire to keep us going in our dreams. So if someone tells me no, look, okay, keep telling me no. Because every time you tell me no, I'm going to prove to you that you're wrong. And God is my witness. Every time a company has told me no, when I submitted my films to them, the company that picked up my films did extremely well when putting out my films. And so I want to make sure that people, honestly, I'm gonna just keep it real. When you tell me no, I want you to feel it that it was a big mistake. I wanted you to feel it. It was a big mistake. But so every no, don't look at it as a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's something that's extremely well, because this gives us a chance to prove ourselves over and over and over and over again that we're exactly what we think and we say we are, and we love what we do. And so that is it. So 6 ways to not give up on the film industry. Is a beautiful industry. It's a lovely industry. I think that it's a great choice, and that we all have interest in this business, and just keep it moving, keep it going. Don't give up. And it's just a great business to be in. Thank you, and take care.